Well, good morning. This week's Monday Meditation. We continue to read through Colossians, and we are going to be in Colossians chapter 2, verses 16 through 23. And before I read these verses, let me just encourage those of you that tune in and view our Monday Meditations each week. Remember that we're reading this passage, the entire book through. So I encourage you to do that, so that you are understanding what we're reading each week in the context of the letter. And that's very important as we read these verses this morning, that you understand what's going on in the entire letter of Colossians, what Paul, the author of Colossians, is talking about in these particular verses. So again, look at resources online, ESV, .org, crossway.org. They have good introductory things that you can look at. There's a lot of resources online that you can help you get a grasp of what the letter is communicating. That way you're not dropping in. If you are only able to tune in periodically, we don't want you to get the idea that you can just pull these verses out of context like you would a fortune cookie. We want to be careful not to read the Bible like a fortune cookie, but to read it in its context. So I just want to share that little thought with you this morning as we start our week. But we're going to read Colossians chapter 2, verses 16 through 23, and I trust it'll be a blessing and encouragement to you as you begin your week. Therefore, let no one pass judgment on you in questions of food and drink, or with regard to a festival, or a new moon, or a Sabbath. These are a shadow of the things to come, but the substance belongs to Christ. Let no one disqualify you, insisting on asceticism and worship of angels, going on in detail about visions, puffed up without reason by his sensuous mind, and not holding fast to the head, from whom the whole body, nourished and knit together through its joints and ligaments, grows with a growth that is from God. If with Christ you died to the elemental spirits of the world, why, as if you were still alive in the world, do you submit to regulations such as do not handle, do not taste, do not touch, referring to things that are all perish as they are used, according to human precepts and teachings? These have indeed an appearance of wisdom in promoting self-made religion and asceticism, and severity to the body, but they are of no value in stopping the indulgence of the flesh. And so let me just, if I can this morning, quickly pull out a principle for you to take from these verses. And here is the principle. No amount of religious activity can kill sin inside of you. Only the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ, as you apply that to your life by faith, can kill sin inside of you. So if you are wrestling with, if you are battling, if you are regularly defeated by sin, and you think to yourself, well, I'll just clean myself up, I'll just get myself back to church, I'll just start reading the Bible. If you're trying to white knuckle your victory over sin, you are going to be perpetually defeated and disappointed. That's the point Paul is making here. The Colossians were engaging in all these religious pseudo-spiritual activities, but he says in that last verse, they are of no value in stopping the indulgence of the flesh. These things, religious activities, in isolation from the work of God, his Spirit inside of you, through the shed blood, death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus, will not do anything for you. So this week, as you battle your sin, battle it through the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ, the indwelling power of the Holy Spirit, and the enablement that we have to live in victory through him, not through our own efforts. So that's the point that I want to give to you from these verses this morning. I hope it's an encouragement to you. Again, read the entire book of Colossians in its larger context, and then you'll be able to glean out of it all of these things that the Apostle Paul is sharing. I hope you have a great week.